In 2010, I decided to become a full-time nutrition coach. But all I knew about calculating macros was from this little 1 square inch chart in my precision nutrition textbook. Pretty much said 40-30-30 for mesomorphs, low carb, high fat for endomorphs, and high carb, low fat for ectomorphs. And I learned what macros were in my college classes, but again, nothing about how to calculate them. As it turns out, being a macro coach takes way more knowledge than that. And the traditional paths for learning about nutrition do not prepare you for calculating and coaching using macros. So in this video series, I'm going to teach you what it takes to become a macro coach. The first step to becoming a macro coach is to realize you will not get a job as a macro coach. When you choose to become a nutrition coach, you're choosing an entrepreneurial path. I get at least a dozen people reaching out to me per month who say, hey, I'm finishing up my precision nutrition level 1 certification, and I'm wondering if you're hiring any new coaches at Beyond Macros. As of the day I'm filming this, there are 36,000 people in the Precision Nutrition Certification Grads and Students Facebook group. That means there's over 36,000 Precision Nutrition Level 1 coaches. Although I've taken the certification and I think it's a fantastic starting point, it doesn't set you apart. I wouldn't hire someone because they have Precision Nutrition or any certification really. And unfortunately, certifications like Precision Nutrition don't prepare you to run a business either. So if you want a job and aren't ready to commit to the entrepreneurial path, I recommend going back to school to become an RD. There's plenty of jobs in that field. And when it comes down to it, the only people I have hired at Beyond Macros have either been former clients of mine who had the prerequisite education and interned for me while they went through the Beyond Macros certification program, or people who just straight up impressed me while going through our coaching certification mentorship. And I know that many of the other companies that offer macro coaching are the same way. They hire from within. But ultimately, there are so few jobs available as a nutrition coach, it's the wrong career choice if you want a job. But if you're committed to the entrepreneurial journey, it's an absolutely amazing choice of career. Now, your first step in the journey to becoming a macro coach depends on one thing. Do you have a nutrition education or not? Leave a comment with where you're currently at in your journey to becoming a macro coach. If you don't have a nutrition education yet, that's your first step. And I don't mean reading a nutrition book. I mean a structured course, certification, or college level program. Once you do have a nutrition education, the next best step is to apply that education to macros. Macro coaching is more than putting everyone on a 500 calorie per day deficit at 40-30-30. Learn everything you can about how to calculate macros. There are many different methods, and in the Beyond Macros certification program, my goal is to teach coaches how to choose which method of calculating macros makes sense for their clients. You should learn as many methods for calculating macros as possible, even ones you might not agree with. And you should practice and apply this knowledge, but don't give it away for free. This is one of the biggest mistakes I made early in my coaching career, was thinking, I need to help some people get results so I have testimonials that I can use to get paying clients. So I'll coach a few people for free, get them great results, and then that will sell the paid clients. When I offered my nutrition coaching for free, people didn't value it, and they selectively listened to my advice. If I told them to do something that felt difficult, they ignored it. And most likely, they just took the easy advice, like drink 40 grams of protein shake after working out. They had no buy-in, no skin in the game, so they didn't get results, and I was pulling my hair out, wondering what went wrong with my advice and the meal plans I'd written. Luckily, a mentor gave me the sage advice to charge for my services. Not so much that I'd put people off, but just enough that they'd buy in and follow my advice. And that's when things just ended up snowballing for me. Not just in terms of business, but in terms of my effectiveness of a coach using a macro-based approach. As you work with more and more clients, you will realize there's no one-size-fits-all approach to macros, and you need to have a robust toolkit, even if you're working with a very specific niche of client. Which brings me to my next point. As I mentioned earlier, there are over 36,000 precision nutrition graduates, and that's just one certification. And the scary thing is that because the terms nutrition coach and macro coach are unregulated, Even uncertified and uneducated trainers and Instagram influencers are calling themselves nutrition coaches and selling macro coaching. If you just put nutrition coach or macro coach with a little apple emoji next to it in your social media bio line, nobody's gonna care. If you spend an hour on Canva making an infographic spewing what you know about iron deficiency anemia without actually knowing who you're talking to or why they should care, you'll get exactly 0 leads for your business and waste a bunch of time. What I'm trying to say is, I see so many coaches just throwing things against the wall to see if they'll stick without knowing who they serve or having a solid foundation of business practices and a marketing plan in place. These coaches are reactive instead of proactive. And because the real foundation of a business is your clients, it's important to know who you serve, specifically, intimately. That's why I created a worksheet to help you get super clear about who your ideal client is. That way you can create all of your business systems and your marketing plan based on what the ideal client is willing to pay a premium service for. You can grab that worksheet in the description below. It will be important for the rest of the videos in this series about how to become a macro coach. So download the worksheet and make sure you're subscribed to the Beyond Macros YouTube channel so that you get notified when we publish new videos about macros and how to coach nutrition. And if you liked this video, please like it and leave a comment about where you're at in your journey to becoming a macro coach.